is Leigh. First of all, I want to thank all of you who have signed up for Snapchick Secrets and who have found me on Facebook. And for those of you that don't know, please email me at secrets@snapchick.com to get on my Snapchick Secrets list. And just search for Snapchick on Facebook if you want to take a look at my fan page. Now, in a previous video, I showed you what I carried in my bag to a wedding that I photographed a few weeks ago. And in this video, I will go more in depth as to what lenses I use on what cameras and in what situations I use them. First, I use typically about 4 cameras during a wedding, or I use 3 and my assistant would use 1. So I bring 4 cameras and I keep the lenses static on the cameras. I don't switch lenses between the cameras. I keep whatever lens I brought on the camera, that's what stays. It just makes things simpler. I don't have to worry about juggling them or changing the lenses during the day. It just makes things easier on me. So let's start at the beginning. When I very first get to the church or the venue of the wedding, and I usually get there early. I usually get everywhere I go early because I am a type A individual, but me getting there early actually serves a purpose other than my compulsion when I am photographing a wedding. I like to get there early so that I can scope out the situation and so that I can get started. A lot of times there are things that are already set up, like the flowers, or sometimes if the reception is at the same place as the ceremony, sometimes even the cake is already out. So I can get some of those kind of required shots out of the way right in the very beginning. And during this time, I use 2 cameras. First, I use my D300S with a 17 to 55 DX lens on it. I do have a hood on this lens that I use, and I have my SB800 flash on this camera as well. This is the camera this actually remains my main camera throughout the day, but during my sort of pre-work, if you will, I'm using this camera as well as my D60 with a 50mm lens on it. This 50mm lens goes down to f1.8, so it lets a lot of light into the camera, so I need no flash at all on this one. And these are the 2 cameras that I will typically use during the pre-ceremony pictures. If I am looking for something that I want some fine detail in, I will usually use the D60. And then for everything else, I'm pretty much using the D300S. My assistant during this time will typically use my D80 with my 18 to 200 DX vibration reduction lens. And sometimes there's a flash on it, sometimes there's not. It just kind of depends on the person and on the situation. Also, if my assistant has equipment that is sufficient, they can use that. If they don't, however, this is typically what they'll use. Now, next we have the bride getting ready and the bridesmaids fawning over her. During that time, I will go to whatever room the bride and the bridesmaids are getting ready in, and I will use my D300S with the 17 to 55 lens on it. Now, you never know what room they're going to be in. Oftentimes the room that the bride is getting ready in is pretty small, and it's got white walls, and the lighting isn't that great. So I use my SB800, and I put a diffuser on it, and I put it at a 45-degree angle, typically. This will most often allow me to get enough light so that the photo looks good, and between the angle of the flash and the diffuser, I'm able to at least minimize the shadows. During this time, my assistant will go and hang out with the groom and the groomsmen, wherever they are, and get some photographs of them. And they will either be using the D80 that they would probably be using during the other parts of the day, or sometimes the D60 with the 50mm lens on it. Just depends.